Newcastle win 4-0 to go back top the championship. The review of the game coming up. We'll also hear from DeAndre Yedlin on audio. And who's your man of the match? Matt Ritchie or Daryl Murphy for me? Hello Newcastle fans, Stevie, welcome to the review of Newcastle 4, Rotherham 0, which Newcastle, you would expect Newcastle to win this game, and we have. It was freezing at St James's Park, really cold, hence the reason I've still got my scarf on. So I've only been in about 15-20 minutes, just done the fan cams video, so keep an eye out for that coming as well. So we'll get on, obviously you've seen in the intro there, we'll get on to the game in itself, we'll have a look at the lineups as well, and we'll also hear from DeAndre Yedlin on audio as well. But before we begin, if you guys are after any like Newcastle merchandise, whether it's shirts, football boots, shin pads or socks or whatever, check out classic football shirts, and the link will be in the description down below. So let's begin where we normally begin with reviews. Is we're going to have a look at the lineups for you. Let's get up in Newcastle's first, which I got actually 11 out of 11 correct. Well done me. So you picked Darl on goal, Yedlin at right back, Lascelles, Clark in the middle, Dumm at left back, Ritchie on the right, Hayden and Shelby in the middle, Gouffran on the left, Perez in the 10 and Murphy up top. Let's switch across to Rotherham, which I got 9 out of 11 correct. So he went debut for O'Donnell, Fisher, Wood, Beleid, Mattock, it was the back four, Smallwood, Ford, Volks, Adeyemi, Taylor on the left and Yates up top. So the lineup, there wasn't massive surprises for me. I got it spot on, 11 out of 11. I think it's because all the players are African Cup nations and the injuries as well. You'd be pretty daft not to get majority of them right, you know. We're seeing obviously Amiobi come on. There's a bit of a crowd banter going on. Sharon Amiobi would come on. We're seeing Jamie Sterry come on as well. So both young lads there. Well, when I say young lads, Amiobi's not really young anymore. He's like 24, is he? But come back from the loan spells. They had a cameo role as well. But we'll talk about the game. So first half, it was pretty frustrating is the word. Newcastle had a couple of chances, notably Perez missing a couple of golden opportunities as well, and then you think, oh, it's going to be one of them days, isn't it? And then Newcastle had a lot of the football. Rotherham weren't really offering much going forward, and it was just a case of like, how are Newcastle, man, how are we? And then the goal finally come, and you thought it's not going to come, and I think it was exact timing. Daryl Murphy, which I got it on video here for you. So he scored, he runs and celebrates near us at the corner flag as well. And I think it was a key scoring at that individual moment, because it's literally on the stroke of half time, was 45 plus 3. So it was literally bang on half time. It just changed the game, and you could see it coming. It was just a matter of time. A lot of fans were getting frustrated, but it's just a matter of time. But you've got to score when you're on top, and Newcastle finally did at half time. And then the floodgates open. Second half come out, you know, obviously I was tweeting all the goals on Facebook and Twitter, you know, as the action was going on. Second half kicked off and was scored again straight away, where Matt Ritchie scored, kicking out towards the Leazes end. We'll come on to individual players in a moment. And then it was pretty easy. It was comfortable for Newcastle. I went on to get the third. Perez scored, and there was a cross coming, a cut back, and I couldn't tell it was an own goal. It was Perez, but the match official give it to Perez. Correct me if I'm wrong if it's been put down as an own goal, because by the time the video goes out, it'll be quite late. And then Ritchie again. Ritchie's fucking magic. He wears a magic hat. He could have gone to West Ham, but he said no, fuck that. Pardon me French. But yeah, Ritchie, he got his second, and he's in good form actually, Matt Ritchie. So Newcastle went on to win 4-0, and I think Newcastle just need to keep this run going, keep it going, you know. A nice win. Speaking of individual performances, before we talk about them, here is DeAndre Yedlin, who I feel had a great great game bombing up and down that wing. Here he is talking to the BBC.
Yeah, it was a good performance. I think the first half we, could have done a bit better, but I think the second half was a top performance, and we got the goals we needed and an important 3 points.
Goals came at a good time, didn't they? Especially the first and then the second, and that allowed you to play quite freely and then get a couple more, and it was nice for the fans to see 4 goals. Yeah, definitely. I think it's always nice when we score a lot of goals at home. The fans get excited. But yeah, when we scored the first and the second, they had to press a little bit, which gave us some space in behind, and then it became a bit easier for us. So yeah, all in all, I think it was a good performance. You played a key role in the first goal and indeed the third, the one for Jose Perez. How pleased were you with your own attacking contribution today? Yeah, it was good. But a lot of
the thing that a lot of people don't see is that can't happen without the movement of, you know, Maddie and Daryl and those kind of guys. So, you know, it's a team goal. You know, so you know, we're excited. You know, we're happy with the win and looking forward to the next game.
So yeah, Yedlin's very happy. Great performance by him, but the standout player for me, there's a couple, to be honest with you. I think Daryl Murphy. I think even just before the game, he was winning flick-ons, knockdowns, and you could see Richie trying to get in behind him as well. It was a clever tactic. Well, it's not clever tactic. I mean, it's a common tactic, but obviously Richie was clever enough to read it. That's what it was meant to mean, and get on behind him. I think Perez was much more improved. He's got his goal. I think we need to see more of it though. Perez is still times in the game where he looked a little bit like them 2 chances in the first half which he wasted, but it's better. It's much better. We need to see more of it, more consistency. Matt Ritchie is coming in a bit of a form now. He was great in midweek and he's great again today. So Matt Ritchie's on fire at the moment. So as you've just seen there, my horrible singing impressions before. But those two for me are the outstanding two for me. Shelvey, people are going to talk about Shelvey, didn't really have a... And I'm actually pleased in one way, and I'll tell you why. Is because Shelvey didn't have his greatest game, but others stepped up the plate. Now on Wednesday, that wasn't the key. You had Richie and predominantly Shelvey was man of the match on Wednesday, but if Shelvey goes missing, Newcastle tend to struggle. And Shelvey was quite quiet today, and other players stepped up, which is key, and we need to see more of it. Obviously, we've got a week away now until the Oxford away fixture, which is obviously next week, which is in the FA Cup, which I'm away in Tenerife on Tuesday, but I'll still be banging them videos out. I might be on a beach somewhere giving you a preview and a review. But it gives Newcastle another week to get back. Obviously the African Cup Nations players will still be back, but we think Mitrovic will be back for next weekend, but we think there'll be a reserve side as well. But Newcastle, enjoy it. We're back top of the league. It was a great performance, in particular second half. Keep an eye out for the obviously fan cams, which Will done a lot of the hosting for. So keep an eye out for that. I'll get that out over the next 12 to 24 hours. And obviously I'll be getting the videos out every day as per usual. Well, thank you very much for watching Newcastle Fans TV, and we'll see you later.